Well, hi everyone. This is Laureen Clausen, and I'm here today to do the info session with you on becoming a Microsoft Office specialist in Excel 2013. So before I get started, we're expecting a pretty big crowd today. But before I get started, I'm going to launch a poll while we wait and just trying to gauge an idea of who's with us today. With me is Christina Harris, and she is our undergrad student, and she's going to go ahead and launch this poll. And Christina's our producer today, so we're going to ask you to hold all chat questions until the end. If you do have a question, Christina will be looking at them throughout the presentation. And I'm going to go ahead, it looks like our results are in, and I'll let Christina launch our results there. And looks like we have 92% staff. We do have a few students with us, so welcome. And we'll go ahead and hide that poll. And we'll get started here. So I think originally when you registered for this session, I think we had 45 minutes as the time allotted. This is actually probably going to be 15 to 20 minutes. It's just an info session about a pilot group we're offering this fall. And I'm going to go ahead and get started. Before I do, on the far right of your computer, you should see the Go To Training panel. There's an orange button, and that button will allow you to collapse and expand that panel. A couple of things I want to point out to you are the materials section, and there's 3 hyperlinks there. They're all optional links that you might want to look at. I'll mention them throughout the presentation. And then you'll also see the chat box at the bottom of the panel. So we will take questions at the end of the session. We are recording this, and we'll take questions at the end, and you can type those in the chat. All right, so really quickly in the short time that we have, I want to talk about what we're going to be covering. So our objectives, we're going to talk about why we're offering the Microsoft Office Specialist Study Group for the certification. It is a certification through Microsoft. So the MOS, it stands for Microsoft Office Specialist. I'll talk about how to obtain that and some benefits of being certified in Excel. I'll talk about our study group, and I will tell you just right offhand, I know that the group that I'm offering this fall will not meet the needs of everyone here today. But hopefully we can gauge an interest in Excel and what you need. There is an evaluation at the end of this session, and if you would fill that out, that will be helpful for me to know how I can best meet the needs for Excel studies on campus. And then finally, we'll do a Q&A at the end. So really quickly, why are we offering this? This is a pilot group, but I wanted to post an article, and this full article is in the materials section of the training. But it's 5 skills everyone needs to have on a resume, and you'll notice the very first skill there is Excel. Now, for those of you who have been in the workforce for any length of time, it used to be you could write on your resume you're proficient in Office or you're proficient in Excel. You can't do that anymore because, frankly, you should be. That is just kind of an expectation. But what if you want to do something to stand out above the rest is you can get certified in a particular application, and that really will make you stand out and shows that not only do you know how to use Excel, but that you know how to use it effectively. So you'll see, if you want to read the full article about the 5 things you should know, I have it posted for you. But some of the reasons why I'm offering this semester, first of all, the Microsoft Office certification is a universally recognized certification. And if you have that on your resume, again, like I mentioned earlier, it shows that you really know how to use Excel. Also, Excel training is one of the most frequently requested classes that we offer. We get calls all the time about Excel training, and we're really wanting to develop power users across campus. And then finally, whether you're a student looking for an internship or getting ready to launch your career, or if any of our staff are making changes in their current role, I think that the certification provides a competitive edge for you. So we're going to do a quick poll here about how well you think you know Excel, and I'll have Christina launch that. And then we'll talk about getting certified. Okay, Christina, and if you'll share that. So it looks like 71% they do use Excel frequently. Looks like you're probably looking to sharpen your skills. For those of you who may rarely use it or you use it intermittently, I will tell you that prior to getting this Excel certification for me, I hardly ever used it. I used it enough to get me by to enter some data, but I was able to study for it. I had to study hard, and I was able to pass that exam. So, Christine, I'm going to go ahead and let you hide that poll, and we'll talk about getting certified. So you're probably wondering, okay, well, what's involved, what type of commitment is needed, and we're going to talk about that. Before I begin, I am going to talk about the study group that I'll be offering. And I will say you can get a certification in Microsoft Excel without coming to the study group. Not that I'm trying to discourage that, but I know that the times that I have to offer may conflict for our students. They may not be able to attend. So I'm certainly more than happy to pass along resources for you that could help you prepare for that if you're interested in that. The first thing is there is an exam, and it is basically you have to complete a Microsoft exam. The exam is project-based, so they'll give you a project. I believe it's 50 minutes, and they are testing you in and out of how well you know Excel. Now, I will tell you the exam does not cover advanced formulas or advanced modeling, and I get a lot of calls from the business school students who are really looking for advanced formulas. This particular exam covers your core skills in Excel, and it would get you to be, I would say, a solid intermediate user of Excel. There is 2 other exams if you're looking in the future to take an expert level of Excel that they offer, but this is just for the I would say beginner to intermediate user. You'll come out of studying for this as an intermediate user. The exam is hosted in a simulated environment. So basically you'll be in an application that looks exactly like Excel. You'll be navigating through tabs and worksheets, but it's just a simulated environment, and it will be checking your scores, and at the bottom of the screen it'll give you an instruction panel of everything you need to complete for your project. And they also, I believe there's 1 or 2 windows that you can look at to kind of give you an idea of what your project should look like. So that can be helpful as well. The exams right now, we're not offering them on campus. That's something I'm hoping to change. I think in one of the articles that I have in the materials section, University of Denver, it points out I think a lot of their undergraduate students are taking these Microsoft exams. A lot of times they're offered at different schools. I'd like to have that here to be, you know, an extra option that people could take if they wanted to take it here. And so I'm working on that, but right now I don't think it will be offered here in the fall. So you can find them throughout the city. If this is something you're interested in, and if you end up deciding to come to my study group, I will point you in the right direction of where you can get free test exams to, you know, where you can go to take a free test just to practice, as well as some of the different exam centers that I've taken exams at that I think are good places to go to. And then there are fees. This is not something that IT is paying for. If this is something that you're interested in, you'll probably want to talk to your manager. But depending on where you take the exam, you should budget between $60 up to maybe $140. So typically on the low end of that scale, you can take an exam at Richland College for $55, and that will allow you to take it one time. or you can purchase a voucher from Microsoft, or actually it's through Certiport, for this exam. And I believe it's $100 for one time and it's $120 for the retake. If you're unable to take it at Richland and you want to take it at a different location, I recommend purchasing the 120 so that you can have a retake, because I think it's probably a good idea to plan for a retake if necessary. All right, so what exactly would be evaluated on the Excel test? What you're seeing here is just a sampling of skills measured. It's not all of the skills measured on the test. I just threw out a few here. If you look in the materials section, there is a hyperlink. It says something about exam objectives, and that is the full list of objectives on the test. So this is a sampling, but you should know how to create a worksheet and workbook, record basic macros. When we talk about creating cells and ranges, you'd be working with sparklines and text to word art. Those are some of the things you might be asked to do in the project. When we get to creating tables, it's everything from sorting and filtering, making sure you know how to turn banded rows on and off. And then again, I mentioned earlier the formulas section. For the formulas section, it's not advanced formulas, but you're getting close. So you would be using conditional logic. You'd be probably utilizing relative and mixed references, some absolute references in formulas, and then I've got the three common formulas at the bottom there: the sum if, average if, and count if. And usually formulas is what people are wanting to know about. And then finally, of course, you can't expect an Excel exam without having some sort of charts and analysis would be part of that project. So that would be included as well. All right. What are some of the benefits of getting your Excel certification? Well, first of all, there's a couple of different benefits. One of them would be you would have access to member-only sites. That's where you could get some training through the Microsoft Virtual Academy. And then you also have a transcript, and I think a transcript can set you apart from other applicants, just showing that you've proven yourself that you really know how to work the Office products. So you'll see a copy of my transcript here. You'll see the exams that I've taken. And then you'll also see here is a logo builder. You can build out a logo for your Outlook signature. And this is one of them here. You'll also see this Microsoft Certified Professional, and you'll get access to both of those logos. And if you have more than one particular application, as I do in this case, you can list them all out, or you can just customize it to have one application showing if you want. So you can utilize that. I think those are things worth having. Oftentimes, if you email me, you'll see I'll have one of the Microsoft Certified Professional on my signature. And I think it's just good to show, especially if you're going into some type of job, accounting, especially for our business students. I think the Excel certification definitely will set you above the rest, because you will be showing that you know how to work this product once you enter the workforce. Finally, the study group that I'm offering this semester, it's a series of 6 sessions. I'm going to be hosting it here in the Fondren Library Lab, and I'm asking for participation of 4 out of 6 sessions. I will tell you, if you can't make it to a couple sessions, I will share all of my materials, and I'll tell you where in the book we are, but you're going to need to read that material in order to be able to pass the exam. I'm going to limit my study group for those, first of all, who really are interested in testing for the Microsoft Office Specialist. I know some people may be listening to this and they may be thinking to themselves, I'd really like more Excel training. Do I want to test? I'm not sure. So I'm going in the evaluation, you can let me know that. I'm going to open it up, first of all, for those who really do want to test for the exam. But if you are interested in Excel training and interested in coming through the study group and not necessarily testing, if I have extra seats, then I will open it up. You will be getting a free ebook and some online resources, and I will make that available. But my sessions will be hands-on training and there will be practice files. Because the bottom line is if you have to go and sit for a 50-minute exam, you really need to have experience with the application itself and experience. All right, so I'm going to open up the Q&A, but I will go over these first couple of questions that you may be asking. So, will the training provided be enough for me to sit for the Microsoft Office Specialist exam? Is it enough? It's going to provide you with a great foundation. We'll cover everything that is covered on the exam, but you will have to do some self-study. For example, one of the things I did before I sat for the exam, I made sure I had the entire ribbon memorized, where the buttons are in Excel, because I knew with a time test I had to be able to quickly answer the questions and I didn't want to be fumbling through the ribbon. So there will be some self-study involved. Will the sessions be recorded if I can't make it? If you can't make it, I'm not going to record the sessions simply because we're not in an environment like we are today with the GoTo training. It's going to be a hands-on environment, and I'm probably going to be helping people going back and forth to different computers. I will provide you, however, my PowerPoint deck. I'll provide you all of the material you would need for that week. You'll just have to go through it on your own. We'll probably have our own Inside SMU site with a discussion board, places that you can ask questions. So there will be resources for you to utilize. Third question I'm throwing out there. I'd like to attend the sessions, but I'm not interested in testing for the exam. Can I still participate? And I already kind of answered that. Yes, you can participate if there are seats still open, but I am going to open it up to those who would like to sit for the certification first. So I'll go ahead and open the chat up if anybody has any additional questions. And you can always email me as well to lclawson@smu.edu. So do we have any questions out there? All right, we'll leave the chat open up for a few minutes. Okay, we did get a question. If you have more than 12, will I do it again? I'm not sure if we're going to get 12. If I do, I will probably offer it again. But I'm not sure at this point. That's just one of those things that I haven't determined. I'm just trying to analyze what the need is on campus. It is a pilot program. We've never offered this before, so we just want to see if this is something that people might be interested in. Tony wants to know if I'll be offering any other certifications in the future. I'm not sure, Tony. So we may. We could offer some other study groups. When you fill out the evaluation, if you wouldn't mind putting in the comments box which ones you'd be interested in, that would be helpful to know. And if you are interested in something, if I'm not offering a study group for that, that doesn't mean that I don't have resources that I can't pass on to you as well. All right. I'm going to stay on the line. If there's any other questions, we'll stay on the line for about another 5 minutes. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this session up. You have my email, lclawson@smu.edu, and you can feel free to either shoot me an email or type it in the chat, and otherwise we will wrap the session up for today. And I'll wish you a great weekend, and I guess that's about it. So thank you so much for attending.